Good morning, everyone. It's Pastor Tim Hammy, First Assembly of God in Burlington, Kansas. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. It is the 21st of January, and I'm so glad to be with you. Today and this week, we're going to talk about the third discipline of Celebrate Discipline, and solitude is what we're talking about this week. See, there's a great value in being solitude. I hope that I can convince you of this this week. I do not know if you realize this or not, but Jesus used solitude much during his life and ministry. See, he did not get by himself in order to get away from people, but I think to hear a divine whisper much better. Here are some places where we find Jesus in solitude. Jesus began his ministry with 40 days alone in the desert in Matthew 4, 1 through 11. Before he chose the 12 disciples, Luke 6:12. When he received the news of his cousin John the Baptist's death, Matthew 4:13. After the feeding of the 5,000, Matthew 14:16. Following the healing of the leper, Luke 5:16. Before the transfiguration, Matthew 17:1 through 9. Before his arrest, trial, and execution on the cross, Matthew 26:36 to 46. So when you begin to think, if God is saying, hey, this is an example of solitude, don't you think, or don't we think, we should get away to a quiet place and just soak it in? Well, let's talk about this week. Well, let's talk about number one this week, about solitude. Why is it so important? Number one, solitude and silence. Without silence, there is no solitude. Really, I mean, come on. If you ever been anywhere where you're trying to get quiet, and all of a sudden you hear a screaming kid or a barking dog or whatever it may be, a chirping cricket, it's not very quiet. This past week, I went away for a couple days of solidarity, and it was great. It was awesome. And every time the creak of the building that I was at, it wasn't that quiet. And when the wind blew, but I tell you that there was times of solitude where there was completely silence, and I could really feel the presence. So these two things, silence and solitude, are as connected and inseparable as peanut butter and jelly. The beach and a sunburn. On a more serious note, faith and works. There is an old proverb which reads, all those who open their mouth close their eyes. The purpose of silence and solitude is so that you can see and hear. It is the silence rather than noise. If you are talking, your ability to listen stops. Silence is an art which is lost among us. Even James saw that no man can control his tongue, and he saw that if anyone did, they'd be perfect. Silence is an important part of the discipline of solitude. Perhaps it is the book of Ecclesiastes which teaches us to best when it says there is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes 3:7. The discipline of solitude is twofold. First, there is the aspect to it where we speak when we need to speak, and we are silent when we need to be silent. It is the keeping the tight rein on the tongue. It is recognizing when you should say something or not. Well, think about that. Know when to speak and when to be silent. Sometimes that is very difficult for us to do. I mean, we all have an opinion of something, and we all want to make our statements. We all want to be forthcoming, but it always doesn't come out the way we meant it to say it. Think about it. Maybe sometimes it's just better to be silent and talk less. To listen more, speak less. I'm working on that, and maybe you need to work on it as well. Well, let me pray for you today. Lord, I thank you so much. I pray that you bless every single person, encourage their heart, Lord. Give them a great day in your name. Amen. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.